When I grow up, coach, what are you gonna be when you grow up? What should I focus on? I hear that word focus, and immediately my head screams, F word, because that's the F word in my vocabulary. I have a ton of clients, probably 95% of my clients and myself are Renaissance souls. And if you're not familiar with that term, there's a fantastic book by that name that I recommend to pretty much everyone that I talk to, where the subtitle is Life Design for People with Too Many Passions to Pick Just One. And because about 95% of my clients are Renaissance souls, and I'm one too, I hear the word focus, and immediately the alarm starts going off, and the bells and the whistles and the warning signs and the bright neon lights start blinking, because I know that this is the quickest way for a creative person and a Renaissance soul to get stuck and feel boxed in and start hyperventilating. And none of those things are good. I like to avoid all of those things. So instead of focusing, start believing that your career doesn't have to have an or. Start believing that your career could have an and. For me, my title is Creative Career Coach, but in that title, I not only coach my clients, obviously, that's the biggest part of my job and how I make the most money, but as an entrepreneur and as a Renaissance soul and as a creative person and as a solopreneur, I'm the person who's in charge of marketing, who's in charge of copywriting, who's in charge of finances, who is a speaker, who is a blogger, who is an author, who is a writer, who is a coach, who... You could see, I could go on and on. One of my former clients, Alexandra Franzen, if you go to her website now, she's definitely very, focused in terms of what she offers. She works with businesses, usually small businesses, to give them all the copywriting and branding material that they need, and one amazeballs, action-packed, fun-filled day of working together and having her write all this stuff for you. It's fantastic. But when she and I started working together, she came to me saying, I just gave NPR, which was her full-time job, my notice. And I have 4 months until I'm leaving, and I have to be an entrepreneur, and I have no idea what the heck I'm going to do. Let's get to it. What a good challenge. And she was definitely so able to make it work because she was just ready to go there. So it wasn't about like, how am I building my platform? How am I branding myself? It was, what can I make money with? How can I make money? And she ended up having these different monetization streams at first, where she was making money doing copywriting for businesses, and also doing personal branding for people in terms of their resume and their bio. If you were looking for a job, especially if you were a creative person, she was helping you put that together. She was giving presentations on how to, present yourself in a resume and update your resume, blah, blah, blah. She was producing at NPR. They hired her to do production on some of the fundraisers that they had. And she was also doing some freelance writing. So all of those things, she was able to just make it happen those first few months. She was able to pay the bills, and she just put herself out there. I could do this for you. And after a few months of doing that for a while, she realized not only what she was really strong in doing and what people seemed to really gravitate towards, but what she enjoyed the most. And then she was able to get that focus. Although if you go to her website, you'll see all over the place, I feel like her focus, especially at that point in her career where she was offering all these different products, was her personality, because people just wanted to work with her. And so it didn't matter that she was just a copywriter and they wanted to work with someone who was serious about copywriting. And they could go to her site and see that she was a producer for NPR and a freelance writer, and she was a branding expert at that time and a resume builder. It didn't matter. People were still thrilled to work with her because it was her personality. How do you get people to believe in you? This, I feel like, is a bit of a trick question, and you're probably going to hate my answer, but I feel like first you have to believe in yourself. So I work with my clients a lot on really figuring out what's going to make them feel comfortable and confident with presenting themselves in a way that they feel like, you need to hire me. And for some of them, it's absolutely about going back to school. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They need that degree. For most of them, though, honestly, they start talking about school, and after we talk about it for a while, they realize that it's sometimes more of a procrastination method than anything else. It's a really good out. It's a really good safe way to get started, and sometimes you just do not need that. I feel like especially when you're an entrepreneur, it really is about building on some of your natural talents and your personal experiences, and again, your personality. So even though for me, I was extremely determined to go back and get my coaching certification, in order to be a certified life coach, that was really important to me, and it's still really important to me. And one of the best exercises that I got in my coaching training happened in the very first month of my coaching, when they asked me to write a bio as to why someone would want to hire me as a coach. And immediately, I call them vampire voices. It's the voices we have in our head that suck all the good stuff out of us. Immediately, I had all these vampire voices going off. You know, I don't know what I'm doing. This is my first month of classes. I'm not qualified. Nobody, you know, should get near me, and I shouldn't be able to coach anyone. I'm going to break them. But really, once I sat down and did it and thought, why would someone want to work with me as a coach? What do I have to offer right now? Well, I had to offer the fact that I was in classes. I was about to get my certification. And knowing that I was going to work with creative people through their career transitions in some way. I think at that point I wasn't yet the When I Grow Up coach, but I knew that's kind of what I wanted to do. I realized how much my personal experiences as an aspiring Broadway actress, as a musical theater performer with my BFA from NYU's Tisch School of the Arts, what my personal experience was, and the fact that I had this lifelong dream to be on Broadway, and I ended up leaving that behind when I was in my mid-20s because it just was not making me happy anymore, and I set out to find this new thing. Just that journey alone was like, oh, I think a creative person that wants to have someone to work through their career transitions with, that they'll get that, and they'll be happy that I've been there and done that. And I think I just knew, based on my personality and how I wanted to infuse things with a sense of play and have it be, yes, still a serious thing that we're doing, but have it be fun and have them look forward to the sessions and have them, I get the feedback a lot that after a session, my clients have more energy than they felt all week or all year or all month, and I love that. So kind of knowing that's my personality, and I'm whimsical and weird, and you know, I didn't know it at the time, but you know, I say amazeballs a lot, even though that wasn't true at the time. I wanted to put that all out there, and I knew that the people that would want to work with me, I was going to be excited to work with. I think it's also really about figuring out who the right people are for you to work with, the environment that best suits you, and how you thrive in that environment. And I think once you kind of figure that out, that could be a really good reverse way of working on things as well. So if you figure out the type of person that you want to work with, or the type of client that you think would buy whatever it is you're selling, depending on what you're transitioning to, then it's about what is it about you that person can relate to. And I think that alone could be it for how you get others to believe in you, and how you get to believe in yourself, so that you could confidently say, yes, you should hire me. Should is the S word in my vocabulary, but you can hire me if this is what you're looking for. This is what I'm great at doing. This is who I work best with. And that confidence speaks volumes. And I have something that sticks in my head too. Last thought is a client of mine who is a photographer and has a wedding photography business in a very saturated location. She still has a day job. She's working on leaving it. She said to me that one of her mentors said to her at the very beginning of her career, you could be the best photographer on the planet. If you have no social skills and you can't connect with people, you're not going to be the most successful photographer on the planet. And he expressed to her that it's more important to have the people skills and the personality type and be able to connect with people and talk to them and have them get you than it is to be the world's best photographer. And if you're an average, above average photographer with above average people person skills, you're going to be more successful than the best photographer who has below average people person skills. And I think that is so true, and I've seen that time and time again when it comes to my clients and my work as well. So I'm going to leave you with that. Yay! Thanks for having me. Thanks for listening. Bye. The When I Grow Up coach. What are you going to be when you grow up? That was amazeballs.